He believes he's innocent. I believe he's innocent.
Diddy's attorney revealing the worst thing about jail for the rapper. According to People magazine, his lawyer said, quote, "I think the food's probably the roughest part of it."
The meals are supposed to be nutritionally balanced and edible. He would receive 3 meals per day, right? Basic meal expectations.
Diddy's new diet going on more than 3 weeks behind bars. The New York Post reports he was served Swedish meatballs after pleading not guilty to his charges for sex trafficking and racketeering.
He will have his meals delivered to him. He would not go to a dining hall in a high-rise like the MDC Brooklyn. The correctional officer on the unit delivers them to the detainee or the inmate.
You guys have any comment going into court? How's he doing?
That's Diddy's 6 eldest children supporting their dad at court on Thursday.
Diddy's legal team has dropped their appeal for bail, and reports indicate that he was seen crying after realizing he faces 6 more months in jail. His lawyers and fellow inmates are expressing concerns about his safety, fearing he might harm himself if his case ends poorly. Diddy is facing a life sentence, assuming he makes it that far, and believes he won't survive in prison. He's already lost a lot of weight in just a few months. At a recent bail hearing, witnesses pointed out that Diddy has developed gray hair, and his family has stopped visiting him. Just weeks ago, Judge Ain Subban rejected Diddy's bail request for the 3rd time, citing claims that he had been harassing other inmates and using phone privileges to contact witnesses. With these new allegations, it's clear Diddy poses a threat to the victims, and it seems unlikely he'll be released. Judge Aaron remarked that the court found the government's evidence convincing, and no conditions could guarantee public safety. To make matters worse, Diddy's legal team has acknowledged the existence of the so-called freak-off tapes, which allegedly show him in sexual contact with minors. Although Diddy's team denies the individuals in the tapes are minors or under the influence of drugs, this contradicts the testimony of multiple witnesses, including those who provided the tapes to the FBI. Desperate to secure Diddy's release, his team offered $50 million in collateral, including his $48 million mansion, 24/7 security, restrictions on his phone and internet access, and limited family visits. Diddy and his family also offered to surrender their passports. Former MDC inmate Larry Levine warns that Diddy's life is at risk, as other inmates will likely target him to gain street credibility, especially with the serious allegations against him. To protect him, Diddy is being kept in protective custody for up to 23 hours a day, away from the general prison population. Cameron Lindsay, a former warden at MDC, described the facility as overcrowded, violent, and understaffed, with insufficient guards to keep Diddy safe. He called MDC a hell on earth. Former inmate Timothy Smith added that Diddy's biggest challenge will be the loneliness, as his isolation and the absence of his family are negatively affecting his mental health. If this continues, it could break him. Gene Deal, who has discussed Diddy's time in prison, believes he may not have the strength to endure it and could harm himself if he sees no way out. Diddy, who's lived a life of luxury, may find the harsh realities of prison too overwhelming to handle. Criminal defense attorney Brian Claypool predicts there's a 99% chance Diddy won't be released, given the overwhelming evidence against him. The Southern District of New York's DA's office has a 98% conviction rate, and most defendants who avoid conviction take a plea deal. Diddy is trapped between staying loyal to his friends, who could harm him if he betrays them, or facing targeting from other inmates if he remains in prison. With the serious allegations against him, the brutal prison environment, and the possibility of life behind bars, Diddy's life has become a nightmare. The big question now is whether he'll survive the next 6 months, or if this will mark an even darker turn in his life. What do you think about this situation? Share your thoughts in the comments.